They thought he was weak. They thought he would break. They were wrong. They messed with the wrong person. And now, nothing will save them from what's coming.
I was not built to bow. They thought they could break me, that their words, their betrayals, their games would tear me apart like wolves tearing flesh. They thought wrong. I am no lamb in their slaughterhouse. I am the blade they never saw coming. I am the storm they cannot outrun. I watched them laugh. I watched them celebrate my supposed defeat. Like vultures circling what they thought was a carcass. Let them laugh. Let them raise their glasses and toast my end. Because when I rise, and I will rise, the ground itself will shake beneath my feet. I carry the scars they gave me like medals. Every lie they told, every betrayal they whispered behind closed doors, every dagger they buried in my back. It forged me, hammered me into something harder, colder, unstoppable. My heart isn't a heart anymore. It's a furnace. It burns with every insult, every betrayal, every slight, and that fire will consume everything in my path. I see their faces. I remember every smirk, every condescending glance, every time they told me I wasn't enough. I have them burned into my memory, like brands on my soul. They will see. They will understand. They will regret the day they mistook my kindness for weakness. They fed the monster. They built it brick by brick with their cruelty, their ignorance, their arrogance. And now, on one hand, they have to live with it. I will show them who I am. I will show them what happens when you corner something that refuses to die. I am not coming to ask for a seat at their table. I am coming to tear the whole table down. I am not coming to knock on the door they slammed in my face. I am coming to rip it off its hinges and make them watch as I walk through the wreckage. They think they're safe. They think they've won. But I am not done. I am the nightmare they cannot wake from. I am the reckoning they never saw coming. Their safe little world is about to crumble. And I will be the one standing tall in the ruins. I don't need their approval. I don't need their validation. I don't need their acceptance. They can keep their false praise and empty smiles. I have something far more powerful. I have truth. I have fire. I have an unbreakable will. While they slept comfortably, thinking they had buried me, I sharpened my mind like a blade. While they mocked me, I fortified my spirit. While they tried to erase me, I wrote my name into the stone. I turned every tear into steel, every heartbreak into armor, every fall into a lesson. I am not here to be liked. I am not here to fit in. I am here to dominate, to conquer, to rise. I am the storm they thought they could outrun. I am the fire they thought they could smother. I am the weapon they thought they could disarm. I remember the cold nights when there was no one. I remember the silent screams, the hollow stares, the endless doubts that tried to drown me. They don't know the wars I fought in my own mind. They don't know the battles I won alone in the dark. But they will see the warrior those nights created. They pushed me to the edge, thinking I'd fall. Instead, I learned to fly. They buried me, thinking I'd rot. Instead, I grew roots that cracked the very ground they stood on. They tried to cage me, to tame me, to break me. Instead, they taught me how to break chains. There is no mercy left in me for them. No pity, no forgiveness, only fire and iron. I will not kneel. I will not retreat. I will not surrender. I was not born to blend in with the herd. I was born to lead, to stand alone if I must, to carve my path through mountains and storms. I was not born to be another faceless name lost to time. I was born to be remembered. They think they know me. They know nothing. They only know the version of me they created. The broken one, the obedient one. That version is dead. I buried it with my own hands. What remains is something they cannot control, cannot understand, and will never defeat. Every step I take now is a declaration. Every breath I draw is a promise. I will show them who I am. I will show them that they picked the wrong person to underestimate. I don't walk into battles anymore. I become the battle. I don't seek revenge. Revenge is too small, too fleeting. I seek dominance. I seek victory so absolute that their names will be forgotten, while mine is carved into legend. Let them tremble. Let them doubt. Let them cling to their fragile illusions. I am coming, and I am bringing a reckoning with me. I am not fueled by anger anymore. Anger burns too fast. I am fueled by purpose. Purpose is endless. It is cold, it is sharp. It cuts through everything in its path. They will look for mercy and find none. They will look for forgiveness and find none. They will look for the old me, the forgiving one, the naive one, and find only the storm they created. I will not whisper. I will not beg. I will roar. I will tear down their illusions, their lies, their facades, until nothing remains but the truth that I am stronger, fiercer, greater than they ever dreamed. They thought they ended me. They thought they won. They thought wrong. I am the fury they unleashed. I am the reckoning they deserved. And when the dust settles, when the smoke clears, when the silence falls, I will be the last one standing. I will show them who I am, and they will never forget it.
Why was Dad always so intense? Like he was at war with the world, even with himself. Because he was never afraid of death. He was afraid of surrender. Your father was born with fire in his soul and a war in his chest. He bled, he burned, but he never bowed. That's the kind of man your father was. The kind who'd rather die fighting than live pretending.
I don't fear death. Death is just a doorway. A quiet knock at the end of chaos. A whisper that says, rest now. Death doesn't scare me. What terrifies me, what rips me apart from the inside out, is the idea of giving up, of folding, of watching my hands shake. As I let go of everything I swore I'd never release. Surrender is the true coffin. They want me soft. They want me broken. They want me to fall to my knees and beg for relief. But I bled too much for that. I've lost too much. I've buried too many pieces of myself just to survive. And now I walk with ghosts. There is no backup, no safety net, no cavalry riding in on horses. It's just me, scarred, stubborn, and too far gone to turn back. Every day, I wake up in a battlefield disguised as a world. And every day I strap on my armor. Not the shiny kind, not the kind made of steel. Mine is made of silence, of lessons learned the hard way, of memories that burn like acid when I close my eyes. I'm not made for comfort. I'm not built for ease. I was forged in fire, molded by abandonment, sharpened by betrayal. And every time they tried to crush me, I learned how to get smaller without breaking, how to compress my rage, my grief, my hope, into something lethal. They told me I was too much, too intense, too damaged. And maybe I am. But I'd rather be a storm than a puddle. I'd rather burn out screaming than live forever on my knees. Because I've seen what surrender looks like. I've seen the light die in people's eyes. I've watched them trade their dreams for routine, their fire for fear. I've seen them lower their heads, pretending it's humility, but it's just quiet resignation. That's not living. That's a slow motion funeral. I felt that temptation, the urge to just stop, to lie down and let the world win, to let the noise drown me, to become numb and call it peace. But every time I got close to that edge, something inside me screamed louder. That scream saved me. It reminded me who I am, not some shattered reflection, not some story they wrote for me, not a victim, not a statistic. I am the storm that survived the flood. I am the spine that didn't snap. I am the breath they tried to choke out, and I'm still breathing. I don't fear the end. The end is clean. It's quiet. It's over. But surrender is a slow death. It's giving pieces of yourself away until there's nothing left but regret and excuses. It's watching your fire flicker out while pretending you never needed it. But I can't live like that. I will not be silenced. I will not be subdued. I will not let the world turn me into another ghost, walking through life pretending to be alive. I will speak, even if my voice shakes. I will fight, even if I'm bleeding. I will rise, even if my bones scream for rest. Because something inside me still believes. I walk through hell with a smile because I made a promise to myself that I would never die quietly, that I would never bow to the weight of this world, that I would rise again and again, no matter how many pieces I was shattered into. When the walls closed in, I didn't scream. I pushed. When the ground gave way, I didn't fall. I flew. And when they turned their backs, I didn't ask why. I just kept walking because I don't need their love. I don't need their validation. I don't need their hands to pull me up. I've got mine, and they're made of iron. The devil sees me and steps aside. He remembers the day I stopped running, the day I stopped fearing him and started walking beside him, not as a servant, not as a slave, but as a storm that even hell couldn't tame. They say I've changed. They say I'm cold. They say I lost my way. But the truth is, I found it. I found the truth in the silence, in the loneliness, in the moments when No one came, and I had to become everything I needed. I don't cry for them. I don't look back. I ripped out the human heart that used to beg for love, for peace. I've buried it where the sun doesn't reach. It was too soft for what I had to become. I don't need it anymore. What pumps through me now is fire and ice, rage and clarity. There's no mercy left in me, no hesitation. I watched people I've trusted walk away like I meant nothing. I heard the lies they told when my back was turned. I felt the blade twist, not once, but over and over. And every twist made me sharper. They thought they were punishing me. They thought the silence would drown me. But I drank it like water. I let it settle in my bones. I let it whisper truths that comfort never could. I became the silence, the storm, the reckoning. Every time I was told you're not enough, I carved it into my memory. I didn't forget. I stacked every insult, every slight, like bricks. And now I stand on a mountain built from their doubt, looking down, unbothered, unbreakable.